A few weeks ago, jihadis beheaded more than 50 people in Mozambique. I couldn't discuss the attack when it happened because the YouTube Trust and Safety team had banned me from posting. But while social media censors were busy silencing critics of jihad here in the US, jihadis were busy slaughtering people in the name of Allah. The attack in Mozambique is important because it's a perfect example of how ISIS is adapting and evolving. ISIS was severely weakened in the Middle East, but if you've been paying attention to terrorist attacks in 2020, you've seen groups that have pledged allegiance to ISIS carrying out attacks around the world. You've seen ISIS-linked attacks in Northern Africa, Southern Africa, Afghanistan, Indonesia, and so on. Mozambique is a Christian-majority nation in southern Africa. The nation is divided into 10 provinces. Two of the northern provinces have Muslim majorities. Jihadis have been targeting the Cabo Delgado province in an attempt to convert the province into an Islamic state. With that background in mind, let's read about the most recent attack. The BBC reports. More than 50 people have been beheaded in northern Mozambique by militant Islamists, state media report. The militants turned a football pitch in a village into an execution ground where they decapitated and chopped bodies, other reports said. Several people were also beheaded in another village, state media reported. The beheadings are the latest in a series of gruesome attacks that the militants have carried out in gas-rich Cabo Delgado province since 2017. Cabo Delgado's natural resources include oil deposits, natural gas fields, and gemstones, so converting the area into an Islamic state could be pretty lucrative. Up to 2,000 people have been killed and about 430,000 have been left homeless in the conflict in the mainly Muslim province. The militants are linked to the Islamic State group, giving it a foothold in southern Africa. The group has exploited poverty and unemployment to recruit youth in their fight to establish Islamic rule in the area. Many locals complain that they have benefited little from the province's ruby and gas industries. The BBC's Jose Temba reports from the capital, Maputo, that the latest attack was probably the worst carried out by the militants. Many people are shocked and they are calling for a peaceful resolution to the conflict, he adds. They're calling for a peaceful resolution to the conflict with ISIS jihadis who are beheading people in the name of Allah. Good luck with that one. The gunmen chanted Allahu Akbar, God is greatest in English, it's actually God is greater, fired shots and set homes alight when they raided Nanjaba village on Friday night, the state-owned Mozambique news agency quoted survivors as saying. 2 people were beheaded in the village and several women abducted, the news agency added. ISIS jihadis love taking female captives, don't they? I wonder where they got that idea. I can't say because it would be hate speech according to the YouTube community guidelines. A separate group of militants carried out another brutal attack on Muatide village where they beheaded more than 50 people, the news agency reported. Villagers who tried to flee were caught and taken to the local football pitch where they were beheaded and chopped to pieces in an atrocity carried out from Friday night to Sunday, privately run Pinnacle News reported. Mozambique's government has appealed for international help to curb the insurgency, saying its troops need specialized training. I'd call that an entirely reasonable request. We saw years of death and carnage when ISIS took over an area in the Middle East. We do not want to see what happens when ISIS takes over a province in Mozambique. In April, more than 50 people were beheaded or shot dead in an attack on a village in Cabo Delgado, and earlier this month, 9 people were beheaded in the same province. Human rights groups say Mozambican security forces have also carried out human rights abuses, including arbitrary arrests, torture, and killings during operations to curb the insurgency. And that's one of the problems ISIS causes. It eventually produces a violent, sometimes brutal backlash against it, and there are always people caught in the middle. So, ISIS jihadis have been targeting a specific natural resource-rich province in Mozambique for the past 4 years, and they seem to be gaining momentum. If they manage to seize an entire province, we might see a repeat of what we saw in Iraq, with jihadis from around the world flooding into the area in an attempt to create an Islamic utopia governed by Sharia. Jihadis might actually have a better chance of success in Mozambique because Americans, Europeans, and Russians won't be as quick to get involved in a place that's farther away from their financial concerns. You'd think the world would have learned its lesson after the first rise of ISIS, but I think the world has learned absolutely nothing. Stay strong, Mozambique. Whatever else happens, you do not want to give these ISIS jihadis 1 square inch of your country.